Okay, welcome to section 7, using social proof for viral growth. And here we're going to learn how to create content that uses social proof to grow virally and exponentially. Now, in doing this, it's important to understand, first of all, what is viral marketing? Because you hear that term all the time, and there's, I think, a lot of confusion out there. So if you look up the strict definition of viral marketing on Wikipedia, it says viral marketing uses the pre-existing social networks to produce brand awareness. Okay, so what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is the words self-replicating through the viral process like the spread of a virus. And the reason why this is such a big deal is because if you can do a post on Facebook and then your message grows viral by itself, it requires no more effort from you and can get you exponential growth, which can get you more traffic to your website and more customers for your business. This can mean real dollars, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and beyond, just from this viral process. And what we're really trying to accomplish here is exponential growth. So we've got 3 different lines. This red line is linear growth or straight line growth. That's why the line's straight. The blue line is a little exponential growth, but the green line is a lot of exponential growth. And what we're seeing on the green line is what has happened to Facebook in terms of its growth in not only number of users, but number of viral sharing of its content, which you will be taking advantage of for the benefit of your business and for your customers. So what we find is that when people start out with these kinds of processes on Facebook, it takes a long time to get your page to start growing. But once it starts and once it gets going, the curve goes faster and your rate of growth goes faster still. And an important thing to note is something called social network potential. Now, social network potential, and if you also look this one up in Wikipedia, represents both the size of an individual's social network and their ability to influence that network. So what this means for you is that the larger your Facebook page gets, the larger your reach gets. Also, the larger your ability to influence your tribe through your Facebook page, the more you can grow your business, the more money you can make, the more socially influential you can become of others, the higher your social status. There's so much that you can do with social network potential, and I've found the fastest and easiest way to grow your social network potential is by having your own personal brand or your own Facebook page grow to be very large. And the more responsive your page, the more influence you can have on that network. And this is really great for authors, speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs. So, what is social proof? Well, we've got a picture here. This is a great example. You see a bunch of these stick figure people standing in line, and one guy's saying, "Hey, what's this line for?" And another guy goes, "I don't know. I just saw everybody standing here and figured it must be good." Well, how often does this kind of thing happen? It actually happens every single day. When people can see that lots of other people like something, that means to us as humans that there must be something good there. There must be some reason, because there's a tremendous amount of proof about how many other people are interested in you or your business or your service, and that can have a dramatic impact on your business. So social proof is a real psychological phenomena that causes people to converge quickly on a single choice. And people often look to the crowd because the crowd is perceived as being correct or especially knowledgeable. Now, this is something known, a concept known as the herd mentality. And this is really important because if you think about when we, as humans, 100,000 years ago, we used to travel in tribes and we traveled in our own herds. The herd was very likely to know how to find food. The herd was very likely to find water. The herd was very likely to find are necessities to live. But if somebody went against the herd or was contrarian or went out on their own, their chances of survival decreased rapidly. So we're actually, through evolution, our brains have been hardwired to look for social proof as a survival mechanism. So now, how does that translate into today's world, today's business world, and through social media? Well, it translates to, if you're able to have dramatic social proof in your business, you can make a lot more money. If you have a big Facebook page, you've got a lot of people who think, well, geez, if 100,000 people can't be wrong, then you must have something pretty good. So there's some history to social proof, and it dates way back to the 1700s, where a Swedish mathematician by the name of Jacob Bernoulli in the 1700s discovered something called the law of large numbers. He did an experiment that you can actually still do today, where he took a rather large barrel and filled it with beans, and he would have hundreds of people guess how many beans were in that barrel. And what he found very consistently is when he took the average of those hundreds of guesses, it turns out the average was very, very close to the actual number of beans. And what they found is that following the crowd is usually the best result, or crowdsourcing the answer usually has a very accurate result. So now let's fast forward into the 1950s, where a professor, a psychology professor by the name of Simon Ash, did an experiment called the two lines experiment. Now he had a control group of 6 people who were in on the experiment, and 1 subject who was not in on the experiment. And the test was all to see what would happen with this subject using social proof. So what he had is the 6 people in the control group, when the professor would ask, which of the 2 following lines is shorter, line A or line B? Well, you can very clearly see that line A is the shorter of the 2 lines. But the 6 people in the control group all said, oh, line B is the shorter line. And then when it got all the way around to our test subject, they were very, very likely to simply agree with the group. In fact, they were 10 times more likely to say the wrong answer, that B was the shorter line, when in fact it's clearly A. And then what happened is they found that individuals are swayed by group opinion. And this is massively important when it comes to social proof, not because we're trying to trick people into being swayed by a group opinion, but because we're hardwired to follow the herd, because it is a survival mechanism built into our brains. And now we can use that in today's world of social media. We can use that to prove how great your business is, how great your products and services are, all through social proof. So, how can you create viral content using social proof? There is some massive psychological power of the Facebook like. So we've just learned how powerful social opinion is and the herd mentality. Well, now how does that translate into Facebook, and what can that do for you? Well, the more likes, comments, shares, and tags your content can get, the more social proof you will have. The more social proof you have, the more likes and viral actions your content gets, and the more it spreads virally. So, how can you get your content to be spread virally? What we've found is that the content that spreads most virally and spreads fastest and easiest is photos, by far. And there's lots of other reasons for that, which we'll talk about in a minute. But what we find here is an example of, we have 2 photos that we posted on our yoga Facebook wall. And we have 400,000 yoga fans now on this page. And you would think a photo of an attractive, a famous person doing yoga would do very well. In fact, you might even think it should go virally. However, what we discovered when we posted this photo of Jennifer Aniston doing yoga on our wall, it only got 11 likes, no comments, and no shares. Well, there's 400,000 people who like yoga, it would have made sense that that would have gone viral, but it absolutely did not. Whereas the photo on the right had, it was a photo of two people not even doing yoga. They're doing acrobatics. It's more like Cirque du Soleil kind of moves. But what you're seeing here is that particular photo got 3,424 likes, 127 comments, 544 shares. But the best thing that it did for us is it got us 300 new page likes for free. And so whenever we post a photo, in fact, every photo we post, we consider it a test. We're testing to find out whether our tribe likes this photo and whether or not it will go viral. So how does this all work? Well, there was a study done by a professor of marketing at the Wharton School of Business, and the Wharton School is one of the #1 schools in the world. In fact, it's on par with Harvard for business school. And she did a study of over 7,000 New York Times posts. And what she discovered is that there was a very high correlation between photos and content that had a high emotional charge and the photos that went most viral. And she calls this the integral effect. So what happens here on the integral effect, and we've got two photos here, and the photo on the top may not initially look like a photo with a high emotional charge, but when you add the story behind the photo with a high, you find out it does have a very high emotional charge. So in fact, this particular gentleman had an 18-year-old dog that suffered from severe arthritis and was on his last days. Now, in order to stay healthy, the dog had to walk, so he would take the dog on very short walks, and then at the end of their walk, he would go into Lake Michigan, and the dog would fall asleep into his arms. This photo was published, and it went incredibly virally all over Facebook. When we shared it on our wall, I think we got approximately 6,000 likes on that photo, and just from posting that one photo, we probably got 600 or 700 new fans, new Facebook likes to our page for free. Now the photo on the bottom, again, this is a photo that we posted on a yoga page, so you would think a professional model doing yoga in an beautiful outdoor setting should go very viral, but the photo by itself has a very low emotional charge, and it actually only got a couple hundred shares, again on a page with 400,000 yoga fans. So what we know from Professor Kathleen Milkman's studies is that the content that has the high emotional charge is what is most likely to go viral, and that's the integral effect. Now, there's something else called valence, and valence is how negatively or positively emotionally charged the content is. So this is different with how powerful the emotional level is versus positive or negative. So you can see here the photo on the left it's a photo that connotes anger. So you've got a fist holding, maybe a hot rock or something. It only got 14 likes, no comments, no shares when we posted it on our yoga wall. Versus the photo on the right, which is just fun to look at. It's certainly fun to share. It's definitely fun to like. The little boy and his camel both laughing. And that one got 4,485 likes, 163 comments, 476 shares. So the more positively or negatively charged your valence is, the more you can, or excuse me, the more positively charged your valence is, the more virally your content can spread. So you take the two of those together. If you can get your content that has both a high emotional charge and a positive valence, it's much, much more likely to go viral than photos with a low emotional charge or negatively emotionally charged. So that's how we can help ensure that our content grows virally. Now, here's the next part. Quotes can add emotion and valence for 10 times the amount of virality. So here's an example. We posted this same photo on one of our walls that has one of our Facebook walls, and at the time I believe it had over 200,000 fans. We posted this photo, and this is a great photo. I love this photo. It only got 27 likes the first time we posted it, and we posted it with no quote. However, the second time we posted it, about a week later, we posted it with the following quote: "Whenever we manage to love without expectations, calculations, and negotiations, we are indeed in heaven." And I believe that's a quote from the 13th century poet by the name of Rumi, which our tribe really loves. And just by adding the comment, we got 1,798 likes. So you can get more than 10 times virality. You can get 100 times virality, or even more when you add a quote that helps you improve your emotional charge, increase the emotional charge, and your valence. So, how do you find these photos? How do you find the most viral photos? Well, first you want to look for photos that have already gotten the most likes on Facebook. They don't have to be your own photos necessarily, but if you see photos in your news feed or you see photos on other pages that have gotten hundreds or thousands of likes, then that photo is highly likely to spread viral when you post it. I usually find these photos in my news feed, or I find them on other pages that I like. And so what you want to do is find other pages that will post photos that your fans will like, inspirational, motivational, etc. And then click the like button on those pages, and when you do, their content will show up in your news feed. You would then want to post the photos that you've seen that are most viral. Instead of clicking the share button on your photo, download the photo and then upload the photo album and give credit to the source. Now, when you do that, when I tell people to do this, the first question is, well, wait a minute, do I have permission to share? Can I just download someone else's photo and upload it to my album? So there's two important things to note here. Number one, first of all, when you or anyone posts photos on Facebook, you've given permission to share those photos to your friends through the Facebook share button. All photos you post have a little share button, and anybody can share those photos. Most people who post photos on Facebook want their photos to share. However, if you're going to download someone's photo and then subsequently upload them, you need to ask permission to do that because it's not your photo. But the good news is it's easy to do that, and most people want their photos shared. So here's an example. I have a good friend, a yoga instructor who is really awesome. Her name is Rachel Brathen. She has a great page called Rachel Brathen Yoga Lifestyle, and she posts all of her own original photos, and they go very viral. But I was scrolling through her Facebook wall, and I came across this photo that went far more viral than the others. Most of her photos were getting a couple hundred likes, but this one got 700 likes. And there's all sorts of reasons that you can go into why maybe that one got so many likes, but part of it is because it's a cool photo. And so I asked Rachel, hey Rachel, awesome photo, can I post on my yoga page? Thank you, and you rock as usual. And a couple hours later, she replied to me, of course. And it was that simple. And that's how, whenever I come across a photo that I like, I just write in the comments, cool photo, may I post it on my wall? And I can't remember the last time somebody said no. I really can't remember the last time somebody said no. I almost always get a yes. So then, what I do though, if somebody's going to allow me to share, I want to make sure to give them credit. And the way that I do that is I tag the person or the Facebook page who gave me the credit. So if you're going to download someone else's photo, then subsequently upload, you need to ask, and it's customary to give them credit. So how do you do that? So we uploaded this page to our wall. We downloaded the photo to my hard drive, and then I re-uploaded it to my photo. And I tagged Rachel. So I said, check out our awesome tribe member, Rachel Brathen Yoga. Great pose. And then I made sure to put in my own web URL in the post. So I added the quote. I got a positive quote, "You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams," by Dr. Seuss. I made sure to add in our web URL so I could get the traffic out of that. And that photo got 829 likes, 111 shares. It got 10 comments, And you can see that this was a free post that got seen by 37,625 people. So I got my web URL in front of 37,000 people for free. And I can do this as many times in a day as I want. I could do these posts 10 times a day if I wanted to. Imagine if you were to do that, what impact that could have on the amount of traffic you can get to your Facebook page and subsequently to your website. It's massive. So make sure to tag the people who gave them credit and add your URL as well as that positive quote. So here's what we're going to do. So these are the simple steps. So what I want you to do in our exercise in just a second, you're going to click on your Facebook search bar, and on the top of your Facebook screen, you're going to type in a keyword that your customers would search for. So if you're a nutritionist, you might type in health and nutrition or raw foods or vegan or healthy lifestyle. Like 20 pages that you think your customer would like. And here's a hint. Find the pages that have hundreds of thousands of fans and like those. What you want to do is then go to those pages and find photos that have the most likes. Make sure to add a little comment beneath them and say, hey, I love your photo. May I share this on our wall? And then, of course, once you get permission, save those photos to your computer. And then you're going to use those photos on your Facebook page. And ultimately, we're going to use them in your photo album stack, which we will learn more about in the next section. So here's your exercise. Take out a piece of paper right now and write this down. What other Facebook pages do your customers like? So here's a little customer marketing research that you want to do. You want to ask some of your customers, hey, what other Facebook pages do you like? And a very easy way to do this is go on your Facebook page search bar and search the keywords that you believe your customers would search for. Then you want to like 20 of those pages, and the reason why you want to do that is because then you'll see the posts in your news feed. So if one of those 20 pages is a page named Wellness, and Wellness posts a photo that ends up going very viral, and you've liked the Wellness page, you're going to see that post in your news feed. You might see it on your cell phone when you check your Facebook news feed. You might see it the next time you log in, but you're going to see it in your news feed. Also, when you like those pages, scroll down on the page walls and find the photos that were posted that got the most likes. Save the ones that did. Again, make sure to ask permission, but save the ones that did and then upload the album to your page once they've given you permission. Share on your wall and make sure to tag the source so that you can give them credit. That will make your page grow virally. So go ahead and do that exercise right now. And we will see you in section number 8, where you're going to learn my number 1 technique that helped me grow 3 different pages to over 100,000 fans and one of my pages to over 400,000 fans, the photo album stack. See you in the next section.